Now what we can do now is put some shadows in our scene. I also want to keep in mind that if you go to another application, let's say After Effects, you can also do shadows in post-production, draw them yourself, and really have a lot more control. But for now, let's go ahead and talk about how we can get our key light to give us just a little bit of a shadow behind this piece of gum, this box. So I'm going to do a quick test render, and let's just see what happens back here. Now, by default, we really don't have any major shadows here. I'm also not quite happy with the contrast inside the mountains. So I'm going to actually go to the key light and I'm going to actually bump this guy up to 100%. And we have a lot more separation now, as you see here. It was at 80% and things were kind of, too soft, I think, but we can always change it later on. We can also change the light type, but for now I'm going to still keep it on what it is, an Omni light. And for shadows, I'm going to try a hard shadow. But let's go ahead and just see what soft will do first. And we'll do another render. So as you can see, we do have a little bit of a shadow back there. The mountains are much more in a pronounced state. It looks more like it's popping. And it's really pushing it a little bit further in the background and making us focus on this bright box. I like that a lot. But I'm going to go ahead and try ray trace shadows with the hard light, and then we'll probably put some ambient occlusion on here as well as some global illumination to see what that looks like. Okay, I think it looks much better. We have a little bit of a shadow back here behind the box of gum, and we can always do a little bit more with the box itself as far as maybe rotating it to get a little bit more pronounced shadow. All right, so I think that might work. Let's do another quick render and we'll go ahead and jazz it up with some global illumination to really get some softer shadows as well. All right, I think I'm getting some really nice definition now all around. The mountain is looking a little bit more ominous. We got this nice detail in there and we have this nice shadow. Now we'll go to our render settings and we're going to go to anti-aliasing, and where it says geometry, let's go ahead and put it on best for this render. Let's go to our effects down here. We're going to toss on some global illumination and we're going to put in here some ambient occlusion. And this will really help to really make the lighting look much more realistic. Let's go ahead and do another render. And I think that's coming along very, very nicely. As always, we can continue to tweak it as we work. But our goals have been accomplished as far as getting the eye to go where it should. This is the most prominent and most important thing because this is where we want the eye to go, the box of gum. We can always work on that rim and really pop it a little bit more. The mountains look really nice and have these really nice dark shadows. And if you ever, when you're in your car or hopefully you're the passenger, if you look out some mountains, you'll see that they have really, really long shadows where the clouds cross over them and where other mountains are nearby. So I like to have those really big shadows for those. And this is going to be probably our ice lake area. So it's going to look really, really cool. Let's go ahead and save our work and we will continue in the next lesson.